Hey teammates, this is Krista Nepper, founder of Work Like a Girl, and you are watching Work Like a Girl Wednesday. So today we are talking about salary history. And when you're asked this question in an interview with regard to salary negotiation, it almost always disproportionately impacts women. Women make less money. We know this because of the wage gap. White women, that's the platinum membership, we make typically 79 cents on the dollar, and women of color make even less, with Black women averaging between 63 and 66 cents on the dollar, and Latina women making 54 cents on the dollar. It hurts my heart every time I have to say that. But because of those statistics, whenever a potential employer asks us about salary history, it will impact us and a lot of times allow them to pay us less if we're being honest. So how do we talk about this in a way that is fair, in a way that is equitable, and in a way that ultimately earns us the compensation that we deserve? So first, some good news. Salary history, there's a lot of momentum in state and local governments to make this question illegal with regard to potential employers. Massachusetts, the first state to pass a law saying that you cannot talk about salary history when negotiating a new position. So that will be in effect in 2018. And in my home state of California, salary history cannot be the only factor in determining compensation. And there are a lot of local entities as well where legislation is being passed and negotiated as we speak. So a lot of momentum in that direction. But if you don't live in them, and as I mentioned, Massachusetts is the first, and that is not going to be in effect until 2018. So how do you navigate that question right now? Well, last week we talked about salary confidentiality, and we noted that you cannot be prohibited from discussing your salary with your coworkers or your colleagues, but your company can pass a policy that asks you not to talk about salary with regard to outside employers or competitors. So how can you use that information to your advantage? When you're asked about salary history, you can answer it in a polite way that indicates your employer has a policy with regard to that, and you'd like to be loyal and respect their policy. So something along the lines of, it would be much easier if you would let me know your budget. My employer has a confidentiality agreement with regard to talking to outside employers about our salary and our compensation packages, and I'd really like to honor that. According to my market research, the range for this position is between X and Y, and of course, you will have done your homework and you will know the range, and you'll be able to navigate the answer from there. It's important to make sure that you have your pitch at the ready and you know exactly what you're going to say, because a lot of times recruiters will ask from the get-go what your range is. But referencing this policy, I have noticed works very, very well for a couple of reasons. One of the things that happens with women is, of course, gender blowback. And if you've never heard that term before, it means the advice that we receive with regard to work and how we're supposed to navigate answers and speak directly and be assertive. That works with men, but when we do it as women, we're labeled the opposite. We're told we're selfish, we're told not to issue mandates, who do we think we are, and language such as that. So this answer is great in the sense that it references a policy rather than our own response to the question, and it shows not only are we loyal, but then when you follow up with, according to my research, the range for this position is blah, 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 it shows you've also done your homework and you are prepared and ready with an answer. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, remember that knowledge is power and to share this with your friends. Again, I'm Krista Nepper, and until next time, this is Work Like a Girl.